Akua ran through the darkness. Her feet pounded the dirt path. Her chest burned. Behind her, she heard it. Not footsteps. Water. Flowing. Moving. Following her. "Please!" she screamed. "I won't sing at the river again! Please!" She burst through the door and slammed it shut. Her hands shook as she locked it. She pressed her back against the wood, panting, trembling. Then she turned around and froze. Standing in the middle of the room was him, glowing faintly in the darkness. Silver hair, burning eyes. He stared at her and smiled. 2 days earlier. Akua woke in the dark. Around her, clay pots, firewood, sacks of grain, the kitchen, where she'd slept for 9 years since her parents died. She walked to the fire pit. Her hands worked fast. Sticks, dry grass, 2 stones striking together. Spark, spark, fire caught. In the orange light, you could see her hands. Deep cuts, blisters, scars layered thick. Not the hands of a 16-year-old. Voices from the main room. Laughter. Akua filled 4 cups with water, carried them in. Mama Essie sat at the table's head, bright wrapper, perfect headscarf, fanning herself. Abina and Amma beside her, talking, giggling. At the far end, Kwame, clean school uniform, empty bowl waiting. His eyes kept moving toward Akua. Same eyes, same birthday, different lives. Akua set cups down without a sound. "Where is the food?" Mama Essie's voice could cut stone. "Coming, Auntie." Akua returned with steaming porridge, served everyone. Mama Essie tasted it, her face twisted, tasteless. Silence. "You forgot salt?" "I added salt, Auntie." Mama Essie's eyes went cold, hard. Something flickered behind them. Not just anger, something darker, older. "Then you're useless in the kitchen, just like your mother." She paused. Her voice dropped lower. "Useless at everything." Akua's breath caught. Her nails dug into her palms. Abena giggled. Amma joined in. Kwame's knuckles went white around his spoon. His jaw clenched so hard it looked like it might crack. But he looked down. Started eating. Always looked down. Akua pressed against the wall. She never Saturday. They ate, talked, laughed. Her stomach twisted. 26 hours since she'd eaten. No one asked. When they finished, Mama Essie pushed her bowl away. "Clear these." Akua moved forward. Her hands trembled from hunger and exhaustion. She reached for Mama Essie's bowl. It slipped through her fingers. Crashed to the floor. Shattered. The room went silent. Mama Essie stood slowly, walked to the corner, picked up her cane. Akua's heart stopped. "Auntie, please. I didn't mean." Crack. The cane struck her shoulder. Crack. Her back. Crack. Her arm. Pain exploded. White hot. Akua fell to her knees. Kwame shot to his feet. "Mama Essie." "Sit. Down." Ice in those 2 words. Kwame hesitated, just for 1 second, his fists shaking, his whole body shaking. Then he Saturday. Looked away. Crack. Crack. Akua curled into herself, tears streaming. "Get out. Sweep the compound. Every corner. Don't come back until it's perfect." Akua stumbled outside, her body screaming. Behind her, she heard them, already talking again, already laughing. Hours passed. She swept, gathered firewood, washed clothes, fed goats, cleaned the chicken coop. The sun climbed, burned. She didn't stop. Afternoon. The house fell quiet. Kwame stood in the main room, looked around. Mama Isi outside, under the tree. Abina and Amma in their room. No one watching. He walked to the kitchen, Akua was scrubbing pots, hands red, raw. He reached into his pocket, pulled out cloth-wrapped something, looked back over his shoulder. Once, twice. His hand trembled as he bent down, slipped it under her mat. Their eyes met. His said everything. Shame, guilt, fear, love, weakness. Hers answered, I know. Thank you. I forgive you. But it still hurts. He stood, left, no words. Because what words were there? That night, Akua unwrapped the bundle. Half a yam, still warm. She looked toward his door, open just a crack. He stood in shadow, watching, making sure. She nodded once. He closed the door. That soft click. She ate alone in the dark. Her brother loved her in secret. But secrets didn't stop canes from falling. Didn't fill empty stomachs during endless days. Still, it was something. The only something she had. Next afternoon, Mama Essie appeared, holding a clay pot. River. One word. Cold as stones. Akua took it, lifted it onto her head. As she passed the main room, Abina whispered loud enough, She walks like an old goat. Giggles. Kwame at the window. Fists tight. Jaw locked. Silent. Always silent. Akua walked the dirt path. Bare feet on hot ground. Cracked heels. The limp from an injury that healed wrong 2 years ago. 2 women approached, talking, laughing. They saw her. Smiles died. Eyes slid away. Walked past. Like she was air. 9 years of being invisible. The river opened before her, through the trees. She set the pot down, sat on the flat stone. 1 moment of peace. Then she closed her eyes, sang, River, wash my sadness away. Wind, hide my tears. Nobody sees me. Nobody knows my pain. Her voice rose, clear, haunting, beautiful. The birds stopped singing. The wind died completely. The leaves hung frozen. The air turned cold. Wrong. Akua's skin prickled. Everything listening. I'm so tired of being nothing. One day maybe I'll be free from this. She poured 9 years into that song. Then the river stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. Dead still. Like glass. Akua opened her eyes. Her heart kicked hard. Something was very wrong. The center bubbled. Small at first, then violent. Water churned, swirled, twisted into a spiral. Something massive, pushing up from below. Akua jumped up, backed away fast. Her breath coming short and sharp. The water exploded, and he rose. Tall, too tall to be real. Water streaming off him in sheets, skin glowing with strange light, silver hair falling to his waist like a waterfall. He stood on the river. Just stood there. On water. He lifted his head slow, looked straight at her. His eyes, burning, like standing too close to fire, like staring at the Sunday. Ancient, powerful, furious. Akua tried to scream. Nothing came. Her legs turned to stone. All she could do was stand there and stare back at the impossible thing in front of her. The water god who had risen from the river. Because of her song. The water god stood on the river, staring at her. Akua couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't look away. Then he spoke. His voice shook the trees. Who dares disturb my rest? The trees bent backward like they were trying to escape. The ground trembled beneath Akua's feet. Thunder cracked overhead even though the sky was clear. Akua's legs gave out. She fell to her knees. I'm sorry, she gasped. Please, I didn't know. Every day. He stepped forward. The water beneath his feet turned black. Every single day. Your voice cries into my water. He moved closer, tall as the trees, eyes burning like coals. The air around him shimmered with heat. Do you think I have no peace? No rest? Please don't kill me. Tears streamed down Akua's face. I won't come back. I promise. I won't sing anymore. The water god stopped at the river's edge, towering over her. The temperature dropped. Akua's breath came out in white clouds. He stared down at her, silent now, just watching. Akua pressed her forehead to the ground, her whole body shaking, not just from fear, from cold, from something else she couldn't name. Please, I'm sorry, please. Long, terrible silence. Then, his voice came again, quieter, but somehow more frightening. Go. Akua looked up. His eyes were still burning, still locked on her. Leave this place, now. She didn't need to be told twice. She scrambled to her feet, turned, ran. Behind her, she heard the water crash like a mountain falling, like something massive sinking back into the deep. But she didn't look back. She just ran. The sun was setting when she burst out of the forest. Her lungs burned, her feet bled, her heart pounded so hard she thought it would break through her ribs. She reached the compound and stopped. The pot. She'd forgotten the pot at the river. No. No, no, no. She looked back at the forest path, dark shadows stretching long like fingers reaching for her. She couldn't go back. But she couldn't go home without it either. Her hands started shaking again. She walked slowly through the gate. Mama Essie stood at the door, arms crossed. Where's my pot? Akua's mouth went dry. Andy, where is my pot? I saw something. At the river, a man came out of the water. He was... Crack. Mama Essie's hand across her face. Akua's head snapped to the side. White light exploded behind her eyes. Her cheek exploded with pain. You think I'm stupid? Mama Essie's voice was ice. You think you can lie to me? I'm not lying. There was... Crack. The other cheek. Akua's mouth filled with the taste of copper. Blood. You lost my pot. My good pot. And now you're making up stories. Like a child. Auntie, please. Mama Essie grabbed her arm. Hard. Her nails dug into Akua's skin like claws. You're going back. Right now. And you're bringing my pot. No, please. It's getting dark. I can't. You will. Mama Essie shoved her toward the gate. Or you'll sleep outside tonight. In the cold. With no food. No water. Nothing. Akua stumbled forward. I don't care if you're scared. I don't care if it's dark. You lost my pot. You bring it back. From inside the house, Akua heard giggling. Abina and Amma, watching, enjoying this. Kwame appeared in the doorway, his face pale, tight. Mama Essie, maybe tomorrow morning? Did I ask you? Mama Essie turned on him. Stay out of this. Kwame's mouth closed. He looked at Akua. She looked back. His eyes said, I'm sorry. Hers said, I know. But sorry didn't help. Sorry never helped. Mama Essie grabbed the back of Akua's wrapper, pulled her to the gate, pushed her out. Don't come back without it. The gate slammed shut. Click. The lock. Akua stood outside alone. The sun was almost gone now. Just a thin line of orange on the horizon, bleeding into purple. The forest path ahead looked like a mouth, dark, open, waiting to swallow her. She didn't want to go. Every part of her screamed to run, to hide, to do anything but walk back to that river. But she had no choice. If she didn't go, she'd sleep outside. No food, no water, in the cold. And tomorrow would be worse. She took a shaky breath, started walking. With every step, one thought repeated in her head like a prayer. Please, Don't let him be there. Please. Please. The path was darker now. Every shadow looked like him. Every sound made her heart stop. A branch cracked to her left. She spun around. Her breath caught. Just a branch. Fallen. Empty. She kept walking. An owl hooted above her. She looked up. 2 yellow eyes staring down. She looked away quickly. Kept moving. Her feet hurt. Her face throbbed where Mama Essie hit her. Her whole body ached. But she kept moving forward. The forest grew thicker, darker. The trees pressed in on both sides like they were closing around her. She could hear the river now. Close. Too close. She didn't want to be here. She stopped at the edge of the clearing. The moon was rising, full and bright. It made the river glow silver. Beautiful. Terrifying. Akua stepped into the clearing. The pot sat exactly where she'd left it, beside the flat stone. She could grab it and run. Just grab it and go. She took 1 step forward, then another. Almost there. Her hand reached for the pot. You came back. The forest went silent. The river stopped its sound. Even the wind died. Just his voice, low, close, right behind her. Akua froze. Her blood turned to ice. Her throat closed. Time slowed down. She couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't turn around. I told you to leave. The voice came closer. She felt cold air on the back of her neck. Yet here you are. Akua's eyes squeezed shut. Her hands trembled. Please, please, let this be a dream. Please, let me wake up. Turn around. She didn't want to. Turn around, Akua. Her body moved on its own. Slowly, against her will. She turned. He stood right there, 5 steps away. The water god. His silver hair glowing in the moonlight. His eyes still burning. His face was carved from stone. He stared at her. She stared back. Her heart pounded so loud she could hear it in her ears. Her hands shook. Her knees felt weak. Neither of them moved. Then he raised his hand toward her. Slow, deliberate, and everything went wrong. Akua opened her mouth to scream. Nothing came out. No sound, no breath, nothing. She tried again. Her mouth moved. Her throat worked. Silence. She touched her throat, pressed hard, tried to force the sound out. Nothing. Panic shot through her chest. Then the world went quiet. The river disappeared. The wind disappeared. The rustling leaves disappeared. Complete silence. Like someone had wrapped her head in thick cloth. Akua slapped her ears. Once. Twice. She couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear her own hands hitting her head. Couldn't hear anything. Her eyes went wide. Her mouth opened in a silent scream. She was deaf. And mute. The water god stood watching, his hand still raised, his face showing nothing. Akua fell to her knees. Tears poured down her face. Her mouth moved, begging, pleading. But she couldn't hear her own voice. Couldn't hear anything at all. She looked up at him, hands pressed together, praying. Please, please, I'm sorry, please. But the words made no sound. The water god lowered his hand slowly. Then he made a simple gesture. Get up. Akua's body obeyed before her mind could think. She stood on shaking legs. He pointed down the path, back toward the village. Walk. She shook her head, pointed at her ears, at her throat, tried to show him. He pointed again. Firm. Final. Walk. Akua turned, started walking. Her legs trembled with every step. Her whole body shook. Behind her, she felt him, even though she couldn't hear his footsteps, even though she couldn't hear anything. She felt his presence, cold, heavy, following. They walked through the forest in silence. Akua in front, the water god behind. She kept looking back. He was always there, always the same distance, never closer, never farther. Just following. The trees passed by. The path stretched on. But she heard none of it. Just silence, thick and suffocating. They reached the compound. Akua stopped at the gate, her heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. She looked back at the water god. He stood at the edge of the clearing, watching, waiting. She pushed the gate open, stepped inside. Mama Essie stood in the yard, arms crossed, face hard as stone. When she saw Akua, her eyes narrowed. Her mouth moved. "Where is my pot?" Akua couldn't hear her, but she could read the anger on her face. Mama Essie walked closer. Her mouth kept moving, louder, angrier. Akua opened her mouth to answer. Nothing came out. She tried again. Her lips moved. Her throat worked. Silence. Mama Essie's face twisted. "Are you mocking me?" Akua shook her head frantically, pointed at her throat, at her ears. But Mama Essie didn't understand. She grabbed Akua's arm, hard, her nails dug in. "You come back with no pot, no explanation, and now you won't even speak?" Akua's mouth opened and closed. Tears streamed down her face. Mama Essie's other hand flew up. Crack. Her palm across Akua's face. Akua's head snapped to the side. She tasted blood, but heard nothing. Crack. The other cheek. Akua fell to her knees. Her mouth opened in a silent cry. "Get up!" Mama Essie's mouth moved, her face red with rage. She grabbed Akua by the hair, pulled her up. Akua's hands went to her aunt's wrist, trying to loosen the grip, her mouth moving, begging without sound. Mama Essie raised her hand again. "Stop." Kwame's voice cut through the yard. Everyone froze. Akua couldn't hear him, but she saw him. Standing in the doorway, fists clenched, face set. Mama Essie turned. Her mouth moved. Angry words. Kwame stepped forward. His mouth moved. Firm, clear. "Leave her alone." Mama Essie let go of Akua's hair, turned fully to face Kwame. Her mouth moved fast, yelling. Kwame didn't back down. She didn't do anything wrong. His jaw was tight. "You've been cruel to her for 9 years. If anyone brought a curse, it's you." Akua could see it all, could read some words on their lips, could see Mama Essie's face turn purple with rage. Mama Essie raised her hand toward Kwame, and that's when it happened. The sky above them turned black. Instantly, like a curtain had been pulled, but only above their house. The rest of the sky stayed clear and bright. Everyone looked up. Akua saw their faces change, confusion, then fear. Clouds gathered, thick, dark, swirling. Mama Essie's hand dropped. Her mouth fell open. Then the wind came. Akua felt it, even though she couldn't hear it. Powerful, violent. It whipped her wrapper, pulled at her hair, made her stumble. The trees around the compound bent almost to the ground. Abina and Amma ran out of the house, their mouths open, screaming. But Akua heard nothing, just watched in silence as the storm built above them. Then the rain started. Heavy, hard, like stones falling from the sky. It poured down on the house, only the house. The yard where they stood stayed dry. Mama Essie backed away, her eyes wide, her mouth moving. What is happening? What is this? Thunder cracked, lightning flashed. Akua felt the vibration through the ground. Then the roof started to shake. Everyone looked up. The wind grabbed it, pulled at it. The wooden beams groaned, bent. Mama Essie's mouth opened wide. "No, no, no, no." The roof lifted. Slowly at first, then faster. It ripped away from the walls with a terrible sound Akua couldn't hear but could feel in her bones. The entire roof flew into the air, spun once, crashed down outside the compound, shattered into pieces. Rain poured into the house. Abina and Amma screamed, ran toward the compound wall. Mama Essie stood frozen, staring at the open sky where her roof used to be. Then she turned, looked straight at Akua. Her face changed. Fear became rage. She pointed at Akua. Her mouth moved. You did this. You brought this evil into my house. Akua shook her head, tried to speak. Nothing. Mama Essie rushed toward her. Kwame jumped between them. She didn't do anything. His mouth moved, clear, strong. Mama Essie tried to push past him. Kwame held firm. Look at yourself. Look at what you've become. You've beaten her, starved her, treated her like dirt for 9 years. He turned to Akua. His eyes met hers. Go, his mouth said. Run, Akua. Now. Akua shook her head, pointed at him. Come with me. I can't. His jaw clenched. Not yet, but you need to go, please. Behind them, Abina picked up a stick. Kwame saw her, stepped toward Akua, put himself between her and the others. Go, he mouthed again, urgent. Akua looked at her brother, at the only person who had ever helped her, even in secret, even when it wasn't enough. He was trying now, finally trying. She nodded once, turned, and ran. Through the gate, down the path, into the darkness. Behind her, she felt them watching, felt their hatred, felt their blame. But she heard nothing, just ran in silence, away from the destroyed house, away from 9 years of pain, away from everything she'd ever known. Her body ached, her face throbbed, her throat was raw from crying without sound. But she ran, until she couldn't run anymore. Then she collapsed. On the path, in the dirt, in the darkness, everything went black. Darkness. Then pain. Akua's eyes opened slowly. She was lying on her back, cold ground beneath her, leaves stuck to her arms. Where was she? She tried to sit up. Her body screamed. Everything hurt. Her head throbbed. Her face burned where Mama Essie had hit her. Her temple was sticky with dried blood. She pushed herself up, looked around. The forest. She was still in the forest, on the path, alone. How long had she been here? The moon was high now, full and bright. It must be very late. She touched her ears, her throat. Still nothing. Still deaf, still mute. Tears filled her eyes again. What would she do now? Where would she go? She couldn't go back. Mama Essie would kill her. But she had nowhere else. She was alone. Completely alone. She pulled her knees to her chest, wrapped her arms around them, and cried without sound. Then she felt it. Cold air on the back of her neck. That feeling of being watched. She froze. Slowly, she turned her head, and her breath stopped. He was there, the water god, standing 10 steps away, silver hair glowing in the moonlight, eyes still burning but softer now, just watching her. Akua scrambled backward, her hands dug into the dirt, her heart pounded. He raised one hand, palm out. Wait. Then he did something she didn't expect. He knelt down, slowly, deliberately, got down on her level. Now they were eye to eye. Akua's chest heaved. She wanted to run, but her body wouldn't move. The water god looked at her for a long moment. Then he raised his hand toward her face. Akua flinched, squeezed her eyes shut. But he didn't hurt her. She felt his fingers touch her throat. Gentle, warm. Heat spread from where he touched, not painful, healing. She opened her eyes. He moved his hand to her right ear, touched it gently, the same warmth. Then her left ear. He pulled his hand back, and suddenly, sound rushed in. The wind in the trees, an owl hooting, her own ragged breathing. Akua gasped. I can hear. Her own voice. She could hear her own voice. Relief flooded through her chest. Her throat tightened with emotion. Tears streamed down her face. I can speak, she whispered. Thank you. Thank you. The water god's expression softened. Then he spoke. His voice was calm now, deep, no longer shaking the earth. I was never angry at your voice, Akua. She stared at him. I was testing you. Testing me? He reached up to his neck, removed a golden necklace that hung there. It glowed, brighter than the moon. He held it out to her. Open your hands. She obeyed, her palms shaking. He placed the necklace gently into them. The moment it touched her skin, warmth spread through her whole body. Like sunlight, like hope. What is this? She whispered. A blessing. His eyes held hers. For a pure heart. Akua's throat tightened. I don't understand. The water god stood, tall again, powerful. His face grew serious. Never return to your aunt's house. Her breath caught. Why? You will not survive if you do. His eyes burned brighter. Promise me. Fear shot through her. I promise. But where do I go? What have I done? He started to fade, his form becoming transparent. Wait, please. His voice came softer now, distant. Someone is coming. And then he was gone, vanished like mist. Akua stood alone in the moonlight, holding the golden necklace, questions burning in her mind, but no answers. She looked down at the necklace. It glowed gently in her palms. She lifted it over her head, put it on. The warmth spread through her again. Then exhaustion hit her like a wave. Her legs gave out. She lay back down, the necklace warm against her chest, just to rest, just for a moment. Her eyes closed. In her sleep, she felt herself lifted, strong arms carrying her, a voice humming, low, gentle, the smell of herbs and smoke. But she was too tired to open her eyes, too tired to fight. She just let herself be carried. When she opened her eyes again, sunlight streamed through wooden walls. She gasped, sat up. This wasn't the forest. She was inside, on a soft mat, a woven blanket over her. The smell of herbs, medicine. Where was she? An old man sat on a stool beside her, gray hair, deep lines around kind eyes, watching her quietly. You're awake, he said gently. Akua's hand went to her throat, to her ears. She could still hear him, could still speak. Where am I? Her voice came out hoarse. You're safe, the man said. I am Papa Mensa. I found you in the bush last night, 6 villages away from here. You were unconscious, bleeding. 6 villages? Akua whispered. How did I get there? Papa Mensa's eyes crinkled slightly. Some journeys are led by spirits, not by feet. He stood, walked to the corner, picked up a small wooden box. I found this beside you. He brought it to her. Akua stared at it. I don't own a box. Open it. Her hands trembled as she lifted the lid and gasped. Inside were dozens of golden necklaces, all identical to the one around her neck. Shining, glowing, beautiful. Her hand flew to her mouth. Papa Mensa leaned back slightly. His eyes moved from the box to the necklace at her throat, then to her face. One eyebrow raised. A small knowing smile touched his lips. Why are you surprised? Akua blinked. quickly composed herself. "I thought I lost it. Thank you for keeping it safe." The old man nodded slowly, but his eyes said he understood. He had seen signs like this before. This girl was blessed, and her story was just beginning. 3 years passed. Akua was 19 now, no longer the broken girl who collapsed in the forest. She lived in a large compound, 6 villages from where she grew up. Strong walls, wide gate, workers who respected her. She traded in the markets. The gold necklaces kept multiplying. Every time she gave with a pure heart, another appeared. She never lacked, and she never forgot. Every morning she opened her gate to whoever needed help, the hungry, the sick, the orphaned, but especially twins. Whenever she heard about twin children suffering, she went to them herself, brought food, clothes, money for school. Her name spread across many villages, the kind woman who gives, the one who helps twins. But she never told anyone about the water god. Far away, Mama Essie was dying. Her compound had fallen apart, walls cracked, yard was dust, no crops, no animals. Abina and Amma had left years ago. Mama Essie lived alone now, thin, gray, broken. One afternoon, Sister Comfort came to visit. She sat across from Mama Essie in the ruined yard. "You're dying, Essie, and you know why." Mama Essie's hands trembled. "I was there. I saw what you did." Sister Comfort's voice was quiet. "You wanted your brother to marry Ajoa, your friend, someone you could control. But he chose that traitor's daughter, the one with the beautiful voice." Mama Essie's breath came faster. "So you went to the herbalist, asked for poison, just to make her sick enough to leave, but you gave too much, and your brother ate from the same pot." Tears fell down Mama Essie's face. "You killed them both, then took their children, loved the boy who looked like your brother, hated the girl who looked like your crime." Mama Essie collapsed forward, sobbing. "And now Akua is alive, wealthy, blessed." Sister Comfort stood. "You destroyed a pure soul and got a curse. She kept a pure heart and got a blessing." Sister Comfort left. Mama Essie stayed on the ground, weeping alone. In another village, Kwame worked in a market. 3 years of traveling, 3 years of working, 3 years of learning to stand. One afternoon he saw a man dragging a young boy by the arm. The boy was crying. The man's fist was raised. "You stole from me, you little thief." The old Kwame would have looked away, but this time he didn't. He stepped forward. "Stop!" The man turned, twice Kwame's size. "This is none of your business." Kwame's hands shook, his heart pounded, every instinct screamed to back down. But he thought of Akua. All those years, he'd stayed silent. "It is now." His voice was steady. The man swung. His fist connected with Kwame's jaw. Pain exploded. Kwame stumbled. But he stood up again. The market went quiet, everyone watching. The man raised his fist again. Kwame didn't move, just stood between him and the boy. The man looked around, at all the watching faces, at Kwame's steady eyes. He lowered his fist, spat, walked away. The boy stared up at Kwame. "Thank you." Kwame's jaw throbbed, but something in his chest felt light. He'd done it. He'd stood up. A week later, Kwame heard them. 2 women talking in the market. "Have you heard about that woman Akua, 6 villages east?" Kwame's hand slowed. "What does she do?" "She helps everyone, feeds the poor, builds wells, but especially twins. Whenever she hears about twin children who need help, she goes herself. They say she's a twin. Lost her parents young. Suffered with a cruel aunt." The sack dropped from Kwame's hands. "Twin. Parents died. Cruel aunt. Helps twins." That was her. His sister was alive. 2 days later, Kwame stood outside a large compound. His heart pounded as he knocked. A young man opened the gate. Yes? I'm looking for Akua. Tell her Kwame is here. The young man's eyes widened, ran inside. Then she appeared. Akua. Beautiful. Strong. Like a queen. She froze when she saw him. Akua. His voice broke. I know I don't deserve to be here. I failed you for 9 years. I was a coward. He fell to his knees. After you left, I couldn't stay. I've been traveling, working, trying to become the brother I should have been. I'm so sorry. Silence. Kwame's head dropped. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I'm proud of you. Then Akua stepped forward, knelt down, and hugged him. Kwame collapsed in her arms, sobbing. You're my brother, Akua whispered. You're my twin. You found your courage. Come inside. You're home now. The moment she said those words, light filled the compound. Bright, warm, golden. Akua's necklace began to glow, and something appeared on Kwame's wrist. A golden bracelet. It materialized from nothing, wrapped around his wrist, glowing. They stared at it, then at each other. Understanding passed between them without words. The blessing and the shield. Together, we both have gifts, Kwame whispered. Akua smiled through tears. We were always meant to be together. That evening, a small girl approached the gate. Thin, dirty, torn wrapper, carrying nothing. She looked exactly like Akua had 9 years ago. Akua walked to the gate, opened it. The girl looked up, fear in her eyes. Akua knelt down. What's your name? Nala, the girl whispered. Are you alone? The girl nodded. Akua smiled gently, touched the girl's cheek. Not anymore. You're home now. She took the girl's hand, led her inside. Behind them, Kwame watched, his hand on the golden bracelet, ready to protect. The compound was full of life, full of hope, full of people who had nowhere else to go. 2 twins at the center. One who learned that suffering with a pure heart leads to blessing. One who learned that courage, even late, leads to redemption. Together, they became a light in the darkness. A home for the broken. My dear friends, when people reject you, don't let it poison your heart. Your pain is not the end. It's the beginning of your purpose. Keep going. Keep your heart pure. Your blessing is coming. The end.